I would like to start with a very crucial epistemological question. And this concerns the relationship between psychoanalysis and religion. Many anthropologists dealing with the history of religion have stated that it's only possible to analyze, and that this was one of your last programmatic statements, to analyze religion, faith, theology, and so on from a secular position. So not to believe as a precondition to analyze the history of believing. And therefore I would like to ask whether, and this is a paradox somehow for humanities and so on, and it has produced, let's say, nearly an impossibility of a dialogue between believers and non-believers in an academic or intellectual context. And my question is whether you see psychoanalysis as a possibility to get rid of this paradoxy or aporia. And especially because from your talk, it again gets clear that psychoanalysis sees itself in a different position. On the one hand, as a kind, you said psychoanalysis is born out of secularization. And on the other hand, and this was very clear from many of your arguments, psychoanalysis somehow is in the position of an heir of religion. Mm-hmm. For example, one of your first very important figures, the loving father, as the precondition for the I to talk, the loving father and the listening father, and this constellation of listening is one of the most important constellations for psychoanalysis. Or another example, you said that the need to believe, or the possibility to believe, is created by the imaginary father, mediated through the mother. And this reminds me to the figure of Maria as mediatrix, as a mediator between the mundane world and the divine. So is there this double position of psychoanalysis against religion, belief?
Thank you very much for those questions. I'm not sure to be able to answer exactly the position of criticizing psychoanalysis that you suggest through the question, but I'll make two developments that maybe clarify some aspects of your question. The first one is that my introduction of the problematic of belief into the scope of modern psychoanalysis is not only a subjective, personal research. I'm persuaded that it's in the right direction of a Freudian ambition. And which for a while, for some years, the second part of the 20th century, the ambition of psychoanalytic theory was to strengthen secularization and to attack religious feelings more than to understand what these religious feelings are in themselves. Secularization, atheism, laïcité, as we say in French, is something that is considered to be the essential aspect of psychoanalytic position. in the situation of the world today, where due to different reasons we experience this clash of religions and a sort of revival of spiritualities, it seems to me that the psychoanalytic approach of religious phenomena will not convince the religious scholars, theologians, and believers. It will strengthen, widen, and reinforce humanism. And this is an important challenge. Humanism is reduced to a rationalist image of the human experience, submitted to economical condition or rationalism. And the affective, sexual, spiritual, whatever the extent of this experience could be, are not taken into account in the classical humanism that is developed even in philosophies like existentialism or some aspects of phenomenology where the problematic of existence of God is considered as not interesting and not indifferent, but we don't have, as Heidegger says, to say yes or not. Now it's put aside. Freudian approach to this enables us to go further in the anthropological experience of divinity and to strengthen, develop again the humanist conception of what human being is. But the gap between this continent, from the one hand, and religious theory itself, theology and so on, and conviction of religious people is maintained. There is something that is not bridgeable, I would say. Mm-hmm. The other aspect that you pointed out is the resemblance between some Freudian models of the development of childish psyche and what we find in Christianity. For instance, the role of the father's figure, the role of Maria, and so on. This is quite important. I don't have any reluctances to accept this. In the development of monotheisms, there are anthropological truths. For instance, the separation logic, the role of the paternal function, the role of maternity as mediation, are anthropological truths that have been discovered by religions and that have been absolutized as means of overwhelming, mastering, dominating human psyche. But there is not an absence of truth in this approach to humanism, to human experience. So we can recognize this, if not absolute truth, way of discovering human truth in religions, which doesn't make psychoanalysis religion.
No.
But it's accepting what humanity had discovered before us.
I would say that Freud himself somehow maybe regarded as an heir of religion in transferring specific concepts which were part of the tradition of Christianity into something else by introducing an analytical gaze. For example, when he grasped the concept of inherited guilt and instead regarded this as a kind of not inherited, but archaic heritage that is a memory of guilt from the prehistory of the people. And this was the precondition to analyze where it comes from and what kind of traces are inscribed in this. So that's what I mean by the air of religion.
I think he was not, well, he's a reader of anthropology and philosophy, but he's also a very practical, pragmatic scholar, in the sense that he experienced this in his clinical practice. If he couldn't observe a confirmation of these models in his practice, he wouldn't be only a hare repeating models that he found into the previous religions or mythologies. He was convinced that he heard this in the couch.